for speaking to us here at NewsX World. Now moving on, viewers, in a recent Truth social media post, Donald Trump has expressed his satisfaction for his role in saving TikTok for US users. This follows the announcement that TikTok's Chinese owner ByteDance has finalized a deal to establish a majority American-owned joint venture. The venture aims to protect US data, thus preventing a potential ban on the app, which has over 200 million American users. In his post, Trump has highlighted how TikTok played a significant role in his success with younger voters during the 2024 presidential election. He has also thanked Chinese President Xi Jinping for approving the deal, noting that Xi could have rejected it, but he chose not to. The latest agreement stipulates that American and global investors will own 80.1% of the venture, with ByteDance retains only a 19.9% stake. The US and Chinese governments have reportedly signed off on the deal, though the Chinese embassy in Washington has not yet commented on it. I request Dr. Satoru Nagao, fellow at the Hudson Institute in Tokyo, to join me in this discussion. Dr. Nagao, thanks very much. Firstly, what's your opinion of the deal that has now been struck? And what does this really now talk about Trump and Xi's relationships? Of course, Trump has thanked Xi, but it must not be forgotten that he was the one to campaign since 2020 for the removal of TikTok from the US.
Yes, in case of the TikTok, there are two risks. One is the information going to China, and China controls the people who use TikTok, or the TikTok related information. China sends fake news to the United States. Something like that is one risk. But another risk is because many young users in the United States, so that's why in the election, these younger people want to get the information through TikTok. If President Trump will not use TikTok, in this case, these young voters will not vote for President Trump. So that's why these kind of two risks, President Trump need to manage it. So as a solution, this is the deal. If the US company and US workers manage this system, information will not going to China, and at the same time, the President Trump can use the TikTok to getting the support from the voters. So this time they agreed. And in case of the TikTok, indeed, this is the typical issue of the competition between US and China. China has the potential to topple the #1 status of the United States. So that's why for the United States, China is anyway the long-term rival. But at the same time, this is long-term battle, long-term competition. So now the President Trump start to say G2, which means that this is the long-term Cold War between US and China. And the US and China leads many issues in the world, but it is not easy to destroy one just now. So they try to live together, manage the world together, but in the future, which one will be the #1 will be decided in the long run. But this kind of the image the US President Trump has, so that's why the now strategy is managing the many issues with China, including this TikTok issue.
Sure. Dr. Nagao, thanks very much for your comments. I request you to stay on as we proceed now to cover news from Japan. Viewers, Japanese Prime Minister